Hello again, you lovely, lovely people. And I hear like a lot of talk about this in the places where I drink at here with the barangay captain and some of the councillors of this local barangay. And it's about and this is not getting there political at all. This is just opinion, which is perfectly legal to do so, because he's not getting involved in rallies or anything like that, or talking down or talking up anybody. But it's about President Duterte and now Bongbong Marcos. Now, a lot of people have said that when Duterte was the president, that he was a stronger president, and also people were more scared to take part or participate in the recreation thing of doing the drugs. Now, what they say in here now is, since Marcos has been the president, the drugs is coming back, which means more crime, more robberies, more burglaries, thefts, in order to get the money to buy, their next fix, if you like. A bit like in England, really. But it didn't matter who was the Prime Minister, drugs have always been a big thing in England. You could get drugs so easy in England, so easy. Some of the bars I used to drink in, they never used to be shy of passing drugs in, dealing drugs in the bar. And that wasn't because I was in the bad bar that I was drinking in. In fact, it was in our Wetherspoons, Wetherspoons and Yates. They would just be openly dealing it, not openly so they could see, but kind of under the table. But if you looked hard enough, you could see it. So here, with this current president now, because he has not got that zero policy tolerance on drugs, whereas if I do drugs, I shoot you. That was the previous president's philosophy. If you do drugs, and I will kill you. And of course he did a lot of that, apparently. Now, with Marcos being here, he's dropped that policy. Obviously it's still illegal, but it's not as strict in the fact as if you get caught with it. I think here you go to prison now, whereas before, with the previous president, the possibility of you getting arrested or shot was quite high. Now, as the people here have said, many of them don't agree with the current president. They like the old president, Duterte, and I can understand why in a way, because some foreigners that I spoke to who've been here for a long time said that prior to Duterte being the president, there was a lot more, what they saw, crime being committed in the Philippines, and a lot of foreigners didn't feel safe in certain places, not just down in Zamboanga way, but all around the Philippines, because there were many more addicts, and of course addicts need to get their money from somewhere in order for them to buy the fix. So many foreigners felt a bit scared being here at that particular time in them kind of places. And they said when Duterte was in power, they felt totally safe. So I don't know, where I am here, many of the the lads here that I see, they openly admit that they have used shabu. They just say, yeah, Steve, I've done it before. Have you done it? No, I haven't done it. No, and it's not something that I would ever wish to try. Even for experience, because they say, oh, you got to try for experience. Well, no, it's not for me. It's certainly not for me. I did a bit of cannabis when I was younger. That's as I think that was as ambitious as I ever got. But here, the lads here, and they are good lads. They're not bad lads. I've never seen them in trouble or anything like that. But they will openly say, yeah, I tried it. But when the time of Duterte was here, no one would even mention drugs. Don't say that. Don't say that. So, of course, there is two sides to this. One, the dealers are loving it. You know, I suppose they are loving it now because it's a more open market again, like it was before Mr. Duterte was president. But again, the opposition are saying, "No, bring it in. Get Duterte back." Well, Duterte can come back. He's done his terms. But I can understand feelings on both sides. Both sides of Marcos supporters and Duterte supporters. Maybe there should have been a happy medium, rather than killing everybody. But there again, it did solve the problem, and I believe that the problem needed to be addressing, like it does in England, I've, when I used to walk my dog when I was in England, and there's this little park I used to go to every morning, before I went to work, take the dog out, and there was only one time I ever witnessed this in this particular park, and it was this lady or woman, and she was like gouged over, and I think I might have said this in another video. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, she'd been, she was drugs. I think it was heroin. It must have been, by the way. She was just gouged out, like this, and just dribbling out of her mouth. And anyway, I phoned an ambulance, and the ambulance come and took her away. And it amazes me in England how easily and readily available it is, and it doesn't seem to be like a deterrent. Cannabis, well, that's debatable, do I think cannabis should be banned? Not really, because it is a herb, but of course people abuse it. I don't think cannabis is meant to be smoked. It's meant to be ingested. It's meant to be eaten to be of any use in the medicinal way. That's why I think when you go to some doctors and they do actually prescribe it in the capsule form, I believe, and it can alleviate pain and many other medical conditions. But of course, to smoke it just gets you out of your head. And of course, in this day and age, sometimes we need to be out of our head, I think, with the current state of things. Like I said, drugs has never been my thing. I did try cannabis when I was in a university. I did do that. I think most people have tried cannabis, but that's as far as I ever went. And then it was like different. It was like solids, like what do they call it? I can't even. Black. It was like this black stuff, and it was very soft. And you could. It was like a Play-Doh, more or less, and you could like roll it and put it in. And but now when I went to Amsterdam a few years ago, it was a few years before I came here. And on the board in these coffee shops, there's all kinds of breeds of this stuff. It was just like a collection of everything, this, that, everything else, and different prices of this. And I said, what's all this about? And they said, it's just different things now, Stephen. It's like hybrids and strains of this super, super strong stuff. Look, I mean, if that's your thing, fair dues, like I said, cannabis is a herb, so should it be banned? I don't know, maybe not. Whereas everything that is made in someone's bedroom, chemically made, then I think that for sure should be banned, and it shouldn't even be controlled, it should be banned, because that is actually dangerous stuff. I remember the days of ease, going to these rave things, in my late 20s, early 30s, and people dropping these tabs. Do you have one of these, friend? No, I'm all right, mate. No, thanks. If I take that, I'm probably going to die. And acid. I did acid as well. I did acid when I was in our university. I had a couple of good trips. I had an equally bad trips as well. And mushrooms, did them in my university days. Did that. But as I said, guys, that's as far as it's ever gone with me. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, I did. But to me, there was a time and a place, and that was my time and my place. Now, no. You can easily get, cannabis or weed anywhere, I think. Probably even here if you looked hard enough for it, or if you knew the right people. But it's not for me, so I don't even ask about it. But yeah, getting back to the here, I think now there is a lot more. There's a lot more coming back. So of course the crime rate will increase. I would imagine there'll be a lot more. I see a lot more of it on the news as well. These seizures of this prohibited things in the Philippines. So it's definitely, I would imagine, it's definitely coming back because, as I said, there is not that zero tolerance on it like there was with the previous president. But it's not for me to say. I am a resident here. I'm a permanent resident, but that still doesn't. If I didn't have a son here, and some of you guys will say, "Oh, you're stupid," but because I've got no intentions of going back to the UK, I think I would probably, after the 10 years of being here without leaving, I could actually apply for citizenship and get it as well. Because even the visa representatives that did my permanent resident, I was talking to them, or they said to me, well, after you've been here for another year or 2 years, I've got beef. He said, why don't you go for that? I said, is it easy? He said, well, it's not easy, but you get it because you do qualify. You've got property here and things like that. But what would that give me? It would only give me the right to vote. It would give me everything that a citizen has of the Philippines. But to me, I like that, the thought of my British passport. Even if I'm not going back to England, I think the British passport is quite powerful. Or maybe not as powerful as it used to be in the past, but I think it's still got a little bit of power. I think if you got into trouble over here, would the British government help you? Probably not. But then if you get into trouble over here, that's your own fault, isn't it? You can't expect to be bailed out by your government if the problem that you've caused is your own doing. If it's not your own doing, then yeah, I would expect that to get a bit of help from the government. But whether it would happen or not is two different things. I don't think it would. I don't think they care about their citizens anymore. For overstay and things like that, there was a guy that overstayed here. He got deported. He's back in England now. I think the embassy helped him financially, but that was it. They helped him financially. I believe that when he gets back to England, he has to repay it back. Whether he has or not, I don't know. I have that contact with him. But yeah, I think they help you out like that. But you've got to come here with a certain amount of money. And it's not just having a certain amount of money in the bank savings. You've got to have something that is replenishable. Whether it be a pension or whether it be something that you've got coming in from somewhere else, or if you're a resident here like I am, you can legally work. You can work legally. You've got to pay taxes to the country, but that's okay. So being a permanent resident, it has got a lot of advantages, but of course, you still can't own any kind of firearms. You can't vote, but even if I was a resident, a citizen of the Philippines, I wouldn't vote. You're just asking for trouble. I think bring attention to yourself as a foreigner going to the voting polls and voting. I wouldn't do that. So I can own business here, or I think 49% of the business. So I can start the business and put 51% in my wife's name. So I still got stakes here. So you can actually have interest in the Philippines when you are a permanent resident. When you are a retiree, I don't know how that works. What is it, the SRRV or something like that? I don't know if you can, because it's different. The retirement visa is not done by immigration, it's done by a separate party, whereas the marriage visa, the permanent residency marriage visa, is done by immigration, the Home Office or whatever they call it. But it is immigration. The Department of Homeland Security, I think it's called. But yeah, you can have business here. You can legally work. You can employ people if you had a business. And the only requirement is that every year, once a year, I think between January, you get 60 days. The beginning of January till the 1st of March, you have to go to an immigration office and do your annual report. And it's about 300 pesos, I believe, 350 pesos, something silly like that. You go down there. I've got to go actually. I'm going to go next month when it's quieting down a bit, because I would imagine there's a lot of foreigners now that's doing it. So I will wait till next month. go down there. I will go to the one in Osamis. I did it there last year. It took 5 minutes. They fill out the paperwork. They just take a picture on their thing. Done. Finish. You pay the money and you're gone for another year. And because the visa is lifetime. All the time you're married, the visa is lifetime. But the permanent resident iCard, you have to renew that every 5 years. I think about $50. I think every 5 years. It's nothing, to be fair. And that's it. You know, it's very easy here. The visa system is very, very easy. Whether they'll change it, I think they're changing it for long-term tourists. I think it's becoming fire behind me, as you can see. The smoke it's come to me and all. Oh, I'm getting gone, guys. Listen, I'll speak to you next time. If you like the video, please subscribe. You know what's he burning there? Plastic. I've been burning plastic or something. Ooh. If you like the video, subscribe, guys. Share the video, please, and hit the notification button. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.